Okay, hello, love people. All lovely humans may encounter this video at some point in their day, week, month. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm Poppet. Pixie's often here. We were supposed to, of course, per usual, start much earlier. For me, energetic stuff and health stuff got in the way. So a lot of the stuff that's here is actually for Pixie and myself, but it will help anybody that encounters it. So when I was working on sort of exiting like a health situation phase, I took some time to like sort of meditate and ask guides for things and advice, angels, what have you. And so Pixie is long due a certain type of reading, overdue, sorry. Yeah, long due. Yeah, overdue a certain type of reading. And so that was what we were planning on doing, but my body got in the way. And my own energetic blah, blah, blah got in the way as well. So I don't know if she's going to pop in tonight or not, if she's crashed or what have you. But so that reading was going to take place. However, we're also on the topic that can be useful to everyone, right? Which is about like sort of energetically soothing one's self, whether that's physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, or all of the above. But energetically, right, is one of the main things, right? Because there's a lot going on. When energy in the world really stirs up, everyone is affected. Everyone, no matter like what their deal is, like what their experience is in the world. Some of us feel it in different ways and experience it as, anxiety, or we feel like sort of the pain and sorrow and fear of a lot of different people. And so that's can be intense. It always is intense. And then when Pixie is not a new empath, but she has like been experiencing really rapid growth. We've talked about it before. And so, I'm overwhelmed right now and trying to keep my energy good. And we talked about it. So is she to some degree. So, sort of guides one of some of these things out to that end, right? Like the scribbles underneath on the paper, it's like really a loose mandala. There's also like a really loosely drawn sort of just chakra color band. And they were guides, meaning angels and guides through prayer and meditation. We're talking about using sort of art therapy and color therapy to soothe, right? To connect body and mind and spirit, but in a like non-complicated way. Like it's not like I'm looking to become an artist here of any talent whatsoever. But it was advice being given for Pixie and for anyone else that is trying to work on self-soothing, clearing energy, clearing the chakras, protecting themselves, like veiling themselves like out and about, especially if they are people that experience the energy of other humans in a sort of more direct, inward, inside the body kind of a way, inside the energy field, like absorbing that stuff. So that's what some of this is. So a lot of the stones that came up here are to that end. They're for soothing, right? They're for anxiety and upset, soothing that, energy soothing, those kinds of things. So the things that are on the table right now, we have lepidolite, which actually this is like the rock form of lithium. And so it's definitely something that's used with people that use a lot of crystal medicine as something that helps soothe anxiety, no matter where you're experiencing it, right? This is dumurite. I always say it incorrectly, but the stone is dumurite. And then this also is a Merkaba. And both the stone and this sacred geometrical shape are used for soothings of anxiety and clearing excess energy and calming down, just generally speaking. So other things that all of these do very similar things, right? Sometimes maybe it'll be something that more promotes positive thinking or helps with depression, but all of these are helping with lifting spirits, soothing anxiety, that kind of thing. So those were the first two. This, of course, is selenite, which, I think everybody knows to some degree about selenite, and black tourmaline, which everybody knows to some degree about black tourmaline. This is a healer cube. This has black tourmaline, golden healer quartz, and citrine in it. All three of those things certainly are for self-healing and anxiety, as well as, manifesting abundance and positivity and security in your life. So that's useful. This is kunzite. And so, these all, like, I feel repetitive, but these all can do similar things. They can be used for other things as well, but they can do similar things. This is sodalite. This is blue gold stone. This is, I can't remember the name, but it's like a angelite kunzite hybrid. And then this is azurite, which is a sister or brother stone to lapis and malachite. So that's and then of course this is my these are two of my favorites, and I can't believe I left them out. So this is moonstone. Again, these all do similar things. This does sort of focus, moonstone can sort of focus more on healing your feminine side, your feminine energy, your feminine areas. If you are female, in capacity, and need to do some physical maintenance of your systems as well. But of course, it has many other purposes. And then this is fluorite. I love fluorite like so much. I think I'm a fluorite addict a little bit. But this by far is my favorite piece. And one of my BFFs in terms of like making me feel so much better. Not all stones work for all people. Certainly I've over time learned that I've purchased things that I feel nothing from. Sometimes later that evolves and I do get good use from them. Sometimes it winds up that it was meant to be given or gifted to someone else. But not every stone is for everybody, at least not where they are right now. Sometimes I don't know, I don't know what the future is like. So perhaps all stones are for all people, depending on where they are in life. But definitely for me, there are fewer stones that radiate and help me personally with healing and energy work than there are stones that don't. So there are fewer stones that help than those that do. And also, in my opinion, of course, everything on the planet has an energetic vibration, and including stone. Like they can say that like via science. So that's not, they can measure, some energy and things coming out of stones and crystals and things. So, and so I do believe that, there's energy that can meet energy and it can really help us. However, I also think this, if something works for you and is not hurting yourself or anyone else, whether it is a placebo effect because of belief or it's actually happening or a little of both, does it matter? Again, as long as it's not hurting yourself or anyone else and it's helping whatever it is you're looking to soothe, heal, work on for yourself, what is the harm in that if it works for you? We all have a lot of different tools that we can use in the world. And so many of them, I guess, feel really straightforward to people, right? They feel really straightforward that, oh, yep, I can use this tool. Or these tools are meant to be used and they're not a scam. Sometimes people talk about this like it's a scam, and it's like, it's a tool. A tool in the wrong hands can do weird stuff, sometimes negative stuff. A tool in the right hands can be really miraculous. A tool in the hands of someone that's learning can be extraordinarily beneficial. So I just think those of us that like this stuff get a bad rap, unless we're strictly into geology, right? Which I love geology, but I'm not strictly into geology. I will try to use any tool available and see how it goes for me. And that's something that happens, whether it's a tool actually for your tool shelf in your garage, right? Or a tool to do painting and artwork and things. And if you figure out how to use it and you like using it, a makeup implement, right? Like just, a mantra, a way of thinking, what an exercise program, a meal plan or dietary adjustment, like all of those. That's like we're just using all those things as tools, trying to figure out how to best build whatever it is we need individually in our lives. So, I guess I'm just saying that to the people that sort of roll their eyes at the stone people. Um, it's not hurting anyone, and it's not hurting us, and we're not hurting you. So we will let you have your tools that maybe sometimes make us nervous or we don't understand. Please let us have ours. Please let us have ours. So all of these things can be great for anyone that is here that really wants to work on soothing themselves right now, calming their energies, soothing their anxiety, raising from depression, centering in meditation, um, sleeping better, those kinds of things. But these were set out intentionally, specifically for Pixie tonight. But I was behind because of a health situation. And I think she went to bed, which that's good. Like we heal in our sleep. Or she could have been napping and we could see her later. That happens sometimes too. So all of these stones, once again, like it's azurite, blue goldstone, sodalite, kunzite, selenite, dumuriite. I can never say it. Golden healer, healing cube with golden healer quartz or golden healer stone, citrine, and black tourmaline, lepidolite, black tourmaline, fluorite, moonstone, and then this again is a mix. Oh, kunzite, and then this is a mixture of kunzite and angelite. I think angelite. I'm worried I had that wrong, but anyway, um, these were all intended for a pixie, and I knew just even touching them, they're helping me too. So that's why we have them here. The doodles underneath are for pixie as well. I may continue to doodle as I sit here, but I am going to turn the camera off for a second and clear some stones away, especially the little rolly guys that might crash and burn if I move around too much. So give me just a second here. Okie dokie. All right, so I'm just making a little box here. We can bring the little doodle pad down. Doodle pad. Doodly doodly. Okay, so this is not going to be exciting. I am in no means, in no way, an artist. I enjoy it. I think it's healing. I'm better at painting than anything else, I guess, but when it comes to visual arts. But the guides and angels for pics we're just talking about, and for everybody else that find it useful, right? We're talking about using the colors that you need specifically that are like either helpful, addressing chakra stuff and clearing and enriching the energies in each chakral area, or just using arts, crafts, color, like as sort of a meditative tool, so that, and also like, Western medicine, some doctors will advise people that are like working on high pressure issues or anger management problems or something like that. They also will sometimes say, hey, pick up a little skill or hobby that you don't really care if you're good at. It's important you don't care if you're good at it, but it's something you enjoy doing, right? So that you can sort of not feel any pressure about, the quality of what you've got going on, but you can still enjoy it and sort of calm yourself and center, right? So they were recommending using colorful tools and paper and drawing things like mandalas, other sacred geometry, shapes, spirals, circular things can help sort of establish like a soothing, calming, centering energy, right? So they were just talking about using the soothing colors and just sitting there for a while and just doodling, but with a little bit more intention, like choosing a shape that sends up the message, hey, I'd like to work on this anxiety. Hey, I'd like to clear some excess energy, that kind of thing. Just, something with which you can set an intention that has a little bit of symbolism going for it, and but that you can just sit there and chill out and do without any pressure. So they were talking about circles, spirals, mandalas. So like there's just some circles here to start things off. There's a lot of sort of soothing blues, greens, purples. So sort of, I guess that's technically sort of upper chakra work, right? Heart, throat, third eye type stuff. And then if you're talking about auras, right? Blue can bring a lot of like peace and healing and soothing. Green can bring a lot of literal physical healing. Purple is a spiritual color. Like when you're working on like aura work, energy work, like Reiki, other things like that. And then, of course, there's just like psychology of color and the people that study it from a more scientific, like traditionally scientific perspective, understanding that just viewing certain colors can change our brain waves and things like that. So this is sort of the color palette that spirits and angels and guides were recommending. This is also another reason, like, why some of us, like, if we're doing some mediumship things, or we are sort of opting to channel a bit deeper, sit around and scribble, because it's sort of like static, right? It's sort of like something that in some ways sort of clears your autonomic nervous system, right? And creates just sort of something to keep you active, but not overthinking, so it can clear energy and space in your mind to listen. So there's a lot of purposes behind these doodles. And then for pics, they wanted her to, use certain colors to be, since she's an artist, right? Like, to be recreating some sacred geometry. But again, to her, it would be like doodling, because they don't want it to be a completed project. They want it to be something you can just sit there and enjoy the rhythm of without overthinking. And that also sets an intention towards feeling better, right? No matter what word you want to use, the goal is to feel better. And then also, it's hard to see, I think. Let me see if I turn this off. Okay, this is like another page, right, where they were talking about just, doing the chakra colors and then just doing a doodle as you go through and walk through and color them in, right? And so it's the respective colors that represent each chakra. And you can, again, just use it as a mind clearing tool, or, as you fill it in, as you fill each one in, you can sit there and think about wanting to align and clear and heal your root chakra, and then sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, soul star, so it can be a meditative thing where you're focusing very specifically and sending healing energy and color and asking those that are more knowledgeable about these things in the universe, angels, guides, deities of all places, right, that are of truth and love and light and things, to help send healing energy to these spaces as you go. So they were giving advice for her to do this kind of thing. They also, they meaning just places that sell things, you can purchase sacred geometry coloring books. So you can just color in the shapes and choose a shape that's appropriately suited to whatever you're trying to work on, and color it in and sort of use that as a meditation on that area or that energy that you want to pursue healing. So yeah, those stones are for picks, but can be used by all of us, and certainly I'm leaning on them a lot. And then this idea was for Pixie, but certainly is a methodology that can be used by any and all of us. So I was sitting here trying to decide if I was going to do some of her cards while she's not here. But and while like some readings go that way for some clients that prefer that, like it feels weird to me because she and I are connected, and it just feels weird to do without her here in a way that doesn't feel weird in other circumstances. So I am, for a while, going to sit here and doodle, color in some of this stuff, think, pray, send healing and clearing to myself first, right? And then to Pixie, and then everyone else, right? So that's what I'm planning on doing for the time being. Readings are always available. That's why we are here. This is information. about the readings. Usually, unless there is a line, and sometimes even if the line is short, we go over time by a lot. And right now, since it's something we're able to do, it's wonderful and great, and we're fine with it. The guides might jump on me like in future, but for right now, like it's chill, right? Private readings are available, $40 minimum. We also offer free reads to first-time viewers here. So please don't be afraid to either leave in the comments that you would like to have one sometime soon, or if you're here and you decide to park and you're thinking about it, please do let us know. So I'm going to pick one of these lovely royalty-free songs and do the doodle venturing that's been recommended for myself so that my energy is good, and for picks, and for everyone else that needs it, that encounters this. And that doesn't. Honestly, I'm hoping it just will send out loving, healing, soothing energy. All right, let's see. Let's pick a lovely royalty-free song here. I don't know what this one's going to be, but it's called Symmetry. Symmetry. Ooh, it's Miss Claudia. I think you left. But hi. I hope you're doing well. I'm sorry about last night. I'm hoping things are calmer tonight. They're sort of chill thus far, but it's been quiet too. I haven't been expecting much of the tech, so we'll see what happens. I think you're gone, but anyway, just wanted to say hello back and send love. Hey there. Hold on a second here. Pull this banner down. How are you? Oh. You have no idea how you are? Is that what you mean? You're neutral, you believe. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's been quiet. I mean, I anticipated quiet to most degrees because I, was planning on reading pics, guides and angels. Like in the past, it's been like, hey, you guys can skip by that and like do that later or whatever. And tonight it was like, nope, it has to happen, right? It has to happen tonight. And we were planning on being here a lot sooner. And I did some channeling on my own and like, centering and prepping for her read. Like at the beginning, it had the like crystals out and um, talked about this doodling. And so that stuff's at the beginning of the stream tonight. But so I had everything prepped based on what I knew they were going to want to talk about with her. We hadn't done cards, but at least on some of the topics, like, we did prep. Then for me, health became an issue, right? Like seizure tremory stuff. And then I get aphasia after seizure activity a lot of the time. So I had aphasia for a while and like then needed to recenter and stuff. So by the time I got here, I figured she'd probably crash. Um, she can stay up, but I'm sure like if she has the space and quiet, like she could use the rest as well. So um, yeah, I thought it was likely that I was going to miss her, but still came, still set the crystals out and talked about each one of them so that she has that to look at perhaps a time when I've totally unavailable or whatever, and when guides are whatever reason less available. Um, and the doodling has been nice. I think they're taking care of me too by keeping things quiet to some degree. I sort of trusted that folks would come by, whatever, what have you, when my angels and guides deemed it to be an okay thing to be doing for me. Like me, when I was ready to interact, they were going to provide an opportunity, I guess. Um, I mean, it's almost 2 hours, but oh yeah, yeah, we were supposed to be there. Like, golly, I think the goal was like 11:45. It was like, one before anything happened, really. What art are you doing? uniforms. That's cool. You certainly know a lot and research a lot about this stuff, so I bet it's really design wise awesome. Design wise, because you were loading and the camo pattern got messed up when it was downscaled to fit the uniforms. Oh, so is that why you're taking a break, or just time for a break? No, I just realized this problem like a few minutes ago. It says, oh, I was previously trying to figure out what colors were what in the pattern to recolor it for another biome. I see. Well, I'm glad you're here regardless. But I'm sorry if it has become a fun project got annoying temporarily. The burning of frustration or impatience is not usually pleasant for any of us. I mean, and then O says, and you know that I love hearing your voice. Well, yeah, thank you. Same, likewise, etc. I believe I owe you a reading. Do I? I mean, like, is that? I know there's one pending. I just didn't know, like, if it's intentionally pending, like you just don't, you're just reserving something for the future, or if you had something that you wanted, like this time sensitive, like what's the story? Morning glory. What's the tale? Nightingale. Want to be in my back pocket? In your own back pocket? That seems complex. I want that to be in my back pocket. The reading, you mean? Like in case of emergency, throw cards here. It says, you did excellent work on the reading. And I thought to myself, gee, I better have another lined up for when I really need to make a change or am very uncertain. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that a whole lot. Let's see what you said. Hold on. They were right. She wouldn't quite understand, but that is life, I suppose. Oh, one of the people in your reading. Got it. I believe she's worth it. Either she will come around or I will. I mean, that sort of applies to there's two people there, right? Well, three, including you. Okay. A different color. Do I have it's sort of dark in here, so I'm having a little bit of trouble like seeing what's up here. What's this one? Green blue. That's what I want. When I come around. Is that song? Okay. I don't know why I can't think of the rest of the song. Usually I'm pretty good music-wise. Whoever else is here passing through, hello. I'm sorry for the lags if you're one of the ones that has been stopping in. I think there's been lags a couple of different platforms tonight. I think that's also to some degree my guides taking care of me. My energy being a little so. But to those who are silent, whether it's voluntary or involuntary, because the lag on my end. Hello. I hope you're well, love and light. O says, my new solution is to take the old, really big swatch, recolor it down to 4 colors. It's meant to be 4 colors, so I'm getting it down to that. How many were you using? And you're talking about camouflage, yeah? Good golly, Miss Molly, I got the boot there for a second. I don't know if I can even be heard, to be honest. O said, okay, I missed some things when I got the weird boot. O said, well, what I did wrong last time was this, but I didn't save the big old swatch that was consolidated into 4 colors. Got it? And then I shrunk it, and then I plan to recover after shrinking. Now I think I will do recoloring and then shrinking. Okay. I, of course, don't know nearly so much about digital arty things as you, or my little egg here, who's constantly doing those things. Well, actually, my not so little egg. O says, oh, I backed it up. Okay, then. Well, the new issue is that when I shrink it down, the stripes have holes in them. Okay, so it's expanded, right? There. Okay, and then you shrink it down. That's interesting. You think it would be the back the other way, right? Like if theoretically, right, it would be that you colored it smaller and then expanded it, and then there'd be gaps, right? You've said here. Okay. Okay. Well, to make the camo, this is what I was saying. Well, to make the camo the right size for the uniforms, it has to be like 66% or some number I forget. And when you aren't doubling or having pixel art, stuff needs to be recolored or moved around. So you have to use software that guesses what pixels should be. I see. Yeah, the egg, which is what kiddo is called around here, would know a lot more about that than I do. Okay, I need to turn the air conditioner less cold. I will be right back. How else was your day? What else did you do? I'll be right back. Mm. Okie dokie. So, O is gone, but he said before he left, because I'd asked what he had done today, he said, I watched Thrilling Intent with Kate, and I was on lit, and honestly, a number of hours are missing, and I have no idea what happened. I understand that. I understand that completely. You've not left. That's interesting. My software, my streaming platform is utterly wackadoo. Like, I don't know what's up. Nothing good. Let's put it that way. Nothing good is up with my streaming software. I know not why. But that's what's up. What is something's up? Oh, come on. No, not even my phone is being bonkers. Okay. So did the hours go missing during chat? Like, I find that often happens, or can at least happen. I have no idea, lady. O says of the lost time. Well, perhaps it's like going into the wardrobe to Narnia, right? Like, they don't really know when it's going to be when they come back. It's going to be sooner than they think. They don't know when. Mr. Thomas the Fawn, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Mr. Thomas the Fawn showed me the way into Narnia. My whore of a brother, my whore big brother, sold his body for some Turkish delight. Let's see. Oh, right, says O. I was reading the works of an insane guy because for some reason he sometimes has ideas, and for some reason I'm curious about if he has a consistent outlook. Okay. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but that's okay. It's not the general public's business anyway. It's not even supposed to be anything, but every once in a while we feel compelled to erase. I sort of want to leave chat or leave stream if it stays quiet to go. I just realized You want to go watch Anne of Green Gables. That sounds totally good. And I have no idea why. Like, I'm not usually like, ooh, I'm thinking about what I could watch, but that's happening a little bit. Okay, so it says, so mostly he's known for having an incredible obsession with a piece of technology and so badly doesn't want to let it go that anything that replaces it is bad, and lots of things replaced it. But as I started to look into these really long web pages of text and text and text and links to other pages of his and text and images and videos and text, seems to be very unhinged. Oof. Unhinged, you say? Let's see. Generally, he's lumped in with the reformers, which are gaggle of half sort of influential people who are allergic to technology. So Luddites, and every few years win over the media or political circles into, huh? Hold on. I'm calling them geniuses and stuff. Also, they do this thing where they oppose something for 20 years, and then when it's a success, they claim credit. Well, that sounds like a lot of people. Lots of people. There's too much indication that he's too crazy to have been in the military for a long time, but he keeps having these letters that are like back and forth with people, and sometimes Armor magazine articles. Those are rather officialish. He runs something he calls like the 117th Combat Reform Group, but it's so obvious it's entirely him. I am just going to let you express your opinions on this stuff here. Oh, it says, what really confuses me is he's so trapped in the past, but he likes multicam and a lot of his articles are 20 years old, so he accidentally asked for stuff or got mad about how stuff wasn't done. And ironically, all the little things he ranted about did happen. Interesting. Interesting. So O said, how about we play a little game and we pretend that I'm including you, sweetie pie? If you had to make a camo pattern for some general region you spent a lot of time in, what 4 colors would you pick, like lightest to darkest? Art thou speaking to me, sweetie pie? Do you want it to be imaginative or reality oriented? Notebook rings here. Okay, let's see what you said. Uh, um, Well, I would hope you would pick colors that are suitable and fit somewhere you're familiar with. Well, that's why I asked if it has to be reality based is all. I'm familiar with a lot of weird places. That was my only clarifier. Also, here is an annoying question as well. I don't know if it's annoying, but it was a question. It's a specificity question. Is there somewhere I can look to see what the color, like the available colors are? I'm sure it's a lot, right? But so I can give you. Because I've got sorted what I want to do with my camo. No, I mean, I know like I'm going to do something sort of like like imagination based. So that's why like if I use like, or do you just want me to give you like general colors and you'll find something close? And it's 4. Okay, it's 4 lightest to darkest. Mm. Look, a piece of picture of camouflage. Just get my ranges correct. Really? Nice. Okay, so it's okay. So my colors are going to be um, I'll type. Let's see. Okay, let's see. It'll be Here we go. Okay, so I've chosen indigo, cobalt, navy blue, and periwinkle. Oh, I didn't do it in the right order. I did it backwards. Wait, you said, did you say light to dark? Hold on. Lightest to darkest. Okay, I think I did it almost backwards. Okay, so it would be, let's see, so it would be periwinkle. Cobalt. Hold on here. Here we go. Now they're in the right. They're in the right order. Periwinkle, cobalt, indigo, and navy blue, and then so that is to be either in, like soothing, calming energy, or to alternatively be in the midst of a healthy throat chakra, or alternatively be in affiliation with the Archangel Michael, or alternatively, color psychology again goes back to what happens to our brain when we look at all those blues, and that usually is that our brain waves stabilize and in some cases can come close to something like a sleep-like state. Why am I hilarious? O said, first of all, naturally the woman picks colors barely understand. Cruel, mean, savage. Well, I just thought you could type. Can't you just type the colors in? And then, okay, it says you're hilarious. I thought this was camo for hiding in the ocean. Nope. That's why I said, how creative can I be? And I just kept in theme of what's going on here. What's going on here? What was going on with the crystals earlier? What's going on with sending soothing, anxiety calming vibes to myself and Pix and anyone else that needs that. And so like energy protection, shielding, like if you're feeling a lot of stuff from your environment, whether it's physical, metaphysical, psychological, whatever, strictly energetic, which would be physical, really, like, scientifically speaking. Okay, so also says something I learned recently that I didn't expect is that like a third of this beautiful nation is tan dominant. You can use desert camo as north as Wyoming. Yeah, yeah, I understand. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, you have lived in places that are tan dominant, right? Like, so it surprises me that um, I don't know. I guess that's the one that surprises you, right? When you live in tan dominant land. Tan dominant. Doodly 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 doo. Boo doo doo doo. Boo doo doo doo. Doo doo. Doo 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 doo. Boo. Boo boo boo. Okay, so O says, yeah, but I live in a desert and I expect desert camo to blend into tan areas, but I don't imagine like the Great Plains or parts of them tan. Okay, got it. Seemingly dried out grass is the color sand sort of absolutely is, right? And bleached out too, right? So sometimes like, because we get so much, straight up sun in the plains areas and things, that even when we have, solidly, this is going to annoy me the way I'm going to phrase it, but solidly moist summers, right? Like where it's always humid and we get a lot of like sufficient rain and things like that. Even when the grass is not dead, right, it bleaches out and is like the color of hay from the sun. So our grass is just a blonde in the summer. So O says, wet and warm places are green, but wet and cool places are brown. So jungles, swamps, and such can share camp. Well, yep, 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 yep. The swamp people. A fair number of my family members have been swamp people. Actually had to get on a fan boat to go to my great Aunt Polly's house. Can we talk about Maria? I don't know if I know what that means. Come on, alarm. I'm hitting stop. See, all of my tech is revolting. It's like, it's all wanting to upset me. Oh, character. Yes. No, I'm pretty certain I remember who that is, actually. We have someone that just joined us, though. Hello? Hello? To whomever's here. If you are lurking or just passing on through, hello, love and light. Hope you're having a wonderful day, night, evening, afternoon. Woo. Morning. Good morning. I hope I'm not lagging. Well, regardless to whomever has come in, we may be shutting her down here in a minute. But if you are here and you need anything like a reading, please let me know. I'm moving just for a second. And I will be right back. So since it's quiet here, and I have come, I have seen, I have doodled, and I'm going to keep doodling and probably lay out cards and something else. But I need to go and take some stuff. And then, would you like to meet elsewhere and talk about Maria? Are you open to that? I just mean typing, by the way. Like, also, like, if you don't, like, I know sometimes when you do the chitty chat, you go places that are a little too, that aren't always like temperature controlled. So if it's hot or something, I just mean a place where there can be typing. I'm not saying you have to speak if you don't want to. But I've been here long enough, and I do want to continue my doodle, but I need to medicate and shut this thing down for the time being. Okay, so yes. Okay, so good. So I will send you a message here in a little bit about some stuff or just about what we just talked about. I don't know why like it needed to be a mystery. So anyway, everyone that has peeked in here today, thank you so much for coming. I hope the beginning portions, like just even like vibing with the crystals a little bit and just hearing their names might be useful to you. We didn't go into detail, but it's not elaborate detail, but that's there. And some conversations about patterns and tools to be used. And so anyway, I hope everyone has a wonderful day. So much love and light. We will be back probably tomorrow at some weird time. But until then, we just want to make sure everybody knows how very loved they are. The entire universe is designed to love you. I'm not saying that just because it's hokey, and I'm not saying that because I don't believe it. I believe it. So until we see you again, thank you guys for stopping by. And please do take care of yourself in the meantime.